Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Arab Federation for Digital Economy was established by the Council of Arab Economic Unity at the League of Arab States in April 2018 with the honorary presidency of Lieutenant General Sheikh Saif bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Deputy Prime Minister of Interior of the United Arab Emirates. The Arab Federation for Digital Economy aspires to support the digital transformation, financial inclusion, and the development of the knowledge-based legislative and technological infrastructure in the Arab world, as well as mobilizing Arab and international capacities and uniting efforts to positively influence the Arab societies and improve the quality of life in Arab member states. In order to know more, we're very much honored to have with us Dr. Abdel Ghoneim, the Vice President of the Arab Federation for Digital Economy. Thank you very much, Doctor, for being with us here on
Good morning.
Thank you, Dr. Ghoneim. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you with us, sir, on Nile TV International. Let's start by asking you, first of all, what is meant by digital economy? I mean, the simplest, please, the simplest form of explanation for digital economy.
Yeah, the digital economy is an economy based on information technology and creativity and innovation. Do you know most of the economies working in the Arab League are traditional economy? They still based on exporting oil and gas and all these things. But most of the globe countries like Singapore, like US, like Western Europe, exporting knowledge, exporting services. This is why the digital economy take place in the most of modern countries. When you have the statistics that the global economy is around $80 trillion, the global digital economy is around $11.5 trillion.
Yeah, that's almost 12-13%.
Yeah, it means around 16% of the global economy. In the Arab world, the economy is around $2.7 trillion, and the digital economy in the Arab world is around $110 billion.
That's 3%.
The percentage is low, very low, is around 4%. While at the same time, the Chinese economy is around $12.5 trillion. 4.1 of them $trillion is around digital by the percentage of 33%. This is why the countries towards the digital economy, it is raising up, and now by few years we shall show that China will be #1 in trade in the globe.
Yes. Doctor, you mentioned to us some figures and why countries are now moving towards digital transformation, but what are actually the requirements needed to support digital economy in the Arab world?
Yeah, in the Arab world we have a lot of challenges. The main challenges is the digital divide. We need a lot for awareness, for education, for moving towards the digitization. Do you know now the globe working in digitization since more than 15 years? Most of the Arab world just begin within few years. But now, for example, in Egypt, since a couple of years, President Abdel al-Sisi announced that the government sector going towards digital transformation for the e-services to the citizen. These initiatives in Egypt and in the Arab world needs a lot of high-tech technological infrastructure. This infrastructure costs maybe hundreds of billions of dollars. Not only the infrastructure, but the applications serving on this infrastructure, like the police applications, civil engineering, and the transportation applications, all these things. And again, in the Arab world, we need to building capacity for the people, because you know most of them needing a continuous training and education.
Right, that's a very important point. I mean, the statistics you mentioned are scary, Dr. Ghoneim, because what you're telling us is that in the Arab world, we need to go tenfold to catch up to to a country like China, for instance. If our digital economy in the Arab world is around 3% and China's is around 33%, then we need to, go tenfold. So to do that, we have to prepare the citizen. I guess that's one of the main pillars for that transformation. And so, what are the plans? What are the schemes to prepare the Arab citizen for this digital revolution?
Yeah, do you know the digital revolution and the fourth digital revolution shall changing and reshaping the world, and even in the new future nearby, most of the tools and machines will be smart machine. Now they are connecting the people not only with the people, they're connecting the people with the machines with the machines. A new era now, machine now learning itself how to move. And most of the transportation now, the digital transportation systems and self-driving cars going now using Internet of Things, using the artificial intelligence application. Do you know in Korea, all the TV presenters are machines now.
Yeah.
They're using artificial intelligence.
And the big data.
Yeah, you saw last conference in Sharm el-Sheikh, Sofia.
Yeah.
This is the main issue. The fourth industrial revolution shall cancel around 65% of the traditional jobs, and at the same time creating creating 65% new jobs, depending on technology, depending on innovation and creativity.
Yeah.
Now you need to move to the digital education. You must have a new industry, like the applications of artificial intelligence, like the applications of Internet of Things. This is now you must move. And now we're moving in the Egyptian government towards the e-services. Now we began in Bursaid government to offer to the citizen all the e-services by using their mobile apps and using their kiosk in the mobile government, and the using these apps even during technical centers the government initiated. This is now we're moving towards the digital citizen.
Yes. Sir, when I asked you about the requirements of or the requirements needed to support digital transformation, you mentioned several things such as training, and also you mentioned specific infrastructure needed to achieve this objective. So I wanted to know from you, what is the infrastructure needed to support the development of knowledge in the Arab countries?
Yeah, especially in Egypt.
Especially in Egypt.
We're transforming and replacing all the cables by fiber optic cables, and it is very good for Egypt. We introduced TIPA 1 satellite for internet and broadband internet and high-speed internet. This is why to cover the area like Halab and Shalatin and all these things, and connecting the Egypt with all the Arab countries in North Africa and Sudan and South Sudan. This offers Egyptian people and the government, they can connecting each other through the satellite, not through the land lines. It is high speed, it is versatile, and it is economy cost.
Right. And to advance in that regard, Dr. Ghoneim, I guess we need legislations. We need. So how are we moving in Egypt forward in issuing, in legislating, so as to facilitate the transformation to a digital society, I guess?
Yeah, I think the regulations and laws, this is one of the main issues challenging all over the world. And in Egypt, we need a lot of laws, like the e-commerce laws. We haven't the privacy in information laws, the spreading information, and the transparency laws. All these laws controlling this type of aspects of economy. Yeah. If you're going for e-commerce, without law you cannot controlling the quality of the products. Without e-payment gateways, you cannot paying the money through your mobile, through your internet online.
That requires some preparation for the citizens themselves, Dr. Ghoneim, because not all of us are ready or accepting the fact that we are moving towards digitalization. Not all of us know how to use the e-commerce, for example, or deal with e-business, although the whole world is shifting towards that. But I'm talking about us here in the Arab world and in Egypt in particular. I will just tell you a little example. I mean, when I wanted to book a flight ticket, for example, I knew that I would get 400 Egyptian pounds discount if I booked from the website. But still, I prefer to go
the safer way.
And
although Hala,
this is
although
the
I'm not
culture.
that old
This is the Arab culture.
this is a culture. I mean, what
I
do
know.
we need to change the culture of the Arab citizens? How can we try to prepare ourselves to accept this type of transformation in our lives?
Yeah,
and
a
that
lot
is
of
where the highly
initiatives.
educated. So what about those who are less fortunate and didn't get the same education?
Let us have a look for the globe statistics. Around 60% of the world have one mobile. Penetration rate 67%. We have mobiles all over the world, around 8 trillion and 200 million. Penetration rate around 115%. This is high number of mobiles. The internet connections all over the world around 4.5 million trillion trillion connection. By social media around 3.5 penetration rate. This is now the world's going to the digital citizen. Now, do you know in some countries in Scandinavian, when the baby is born, they put a very small chip under his skin. This is his ID. He moving all over the world, you know who is. Now we're moving to this. Now when we're saying self-car, now most of the cars now going to this. And this is one of the jobs shall be cancelled.
So many
Perhaps
jobs.
one of the key reasons for people shying away from this is the fear of fraud. So I guess legislation, again, we go back to legislation, would decrease chances of fraud, or people are afraid that they would, be exposed to fraud.
Yeah, there is a lot of fraud for the people. But the digital economy, when you're going to the digital economy and digital transformations, the e-services, it is fighting the corruption. It is applying the transparency. You're paying as you can by any time you need. Do you know, for digital transformation, the government working 24/7. You can get your services at night, not moving from your home, going to your mobile and select the services, and you paying through your banking card, any credit card, any payment gateway. This is facilitate a lot of services, and it going to apply Egypt Vision 2030 by equality, quality and transparency.
So
And
is it
anti-corruption.
Is the transformation to digital economy, does it actually help fight corruption, or does it open doors for new ways of corruption, new means of corruption away from the traditional ones?
You cannot delete the corruption all over the era.
As long as there is a
But
human being, then
you help the citizen to pay. When you get a separation between the service provider and the citizen, you at that time you delete something like 50% of the corruption.
Yes. But Doctor, today we are in the Cairo International Book Fair, and thousands of books from all over the world are displayed. Do you think that electronic books would substitute the printed book soon, or we would still go back to the traditional form of the book?
Yeah, in the globe statistics, the e-books around from 10 to 50 to 20%, and a lot of research are saying that most of the people in US and Europe prefer the printed book because they said, most of them, we smell the paper. We have sensory adventure when we're reading these stories and novel. But anyway, most of them had advantage and disadvantage. When we're speaking about the e-book, especially for the students, instead of having a heavy bag with tens of books, he only have e-reader, any e-reader or his mobile,
Yes.
smartphone. But most of the studies saying that still the conventional book, the printed book, is preferable for all the people.
Right. So that's besides, of course, the fact that it's healthier. I mean, to read a regular book, I mean, it's better for the eye, definitely, than exposing yourself.
Yeah,
to,
the e-book
yeah.
affecting the eye strains, affecting a lot of diseases for the eye.
Right. So if the traditional book will remain at the expense of the e-book, in your view, then the traditional citizen will be here.
We cannot delete the traditional.
Will
We
be
cannot.
the digital citizen.
Yeah,
Although-
but you know, the technology is easing and sampling the to get your services. Yeah, imagine when you staying in home without going to get a lot of queues in government sector to get your service. You're staying home and you're paying at any time you need. You
that
got your
saves money,
services.
that saves energy, that saves everything. So, Dr. Ghoneim, this transformation, the world is changing, and what you said, you know, highlights this. You're telling us, face it, like it or not, the world is changing. So, how is this revolution, digital revolution, affecting people's cultures, identities, personalities, and how can we in Egypt and the Arab world, you know, adapt with it and get the advantages from it and the benefits, but at the same time stay away from the disadvantages and you know, keep our identities.
Yeah, most of the new technologies facing against a lot of against people. But now, when you have a look for the financial inclusion, a lot of people, they didn't need financial inclusion because most of the unofficial traders, they don't like to have their umbrella of the central bank and all these things.
Yes.
You know, we have a lot of challenges. When you're trying to apply the digital economy and the digital transformation, still you use it by a small sector of the people because around 37 of the people have credits and bank accounts. This means 23%, around 63 non-account banking account. How you apply the financial inclusion? And again, there is a lot of challenges like the cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Now, the most of the international companies produce coins, produce their coins. They're fighting the central bank and their controls. And even the Bitcoin now going and all this cryptocurrency, the market now is around going to $1 trillion.
Doctor, we're really enjoying your speech, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have here. So we have to thank you on behalf of our dear viewers. We thank you, Dr. Abdel Wahab Ghoneim, the Vice President of the Arab Federation for Digital Economy. It's been a great pleasure having you with us.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ghoneim.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a short break and we'll be right back.